As a culture, we are so conditioned to do things a certain way simply because that's how it's done. Our parents did something in a particular way, and we follow suit without ever questioning if it could be done a different way. This isn't always a bad thing, but when it comes to ear infections, it's important to know there is an alternative option to antibiotics, one that doesn't further exacerbate the root cause of your ear infection. We have all been told that you have to take antibiotics for ear infections, and if you don't finish a complete antibiotic cycle, your eardrum could explode. This isn't an anti-antibiotic episode, but a deep dive into what is actually behind ear infections and how antibiotics exacerbate the problem. Most of us know that ear infections stem from an infection somewhere in the body that lands in the middle ear. This infection causes inflammation and excruciating pain. But the missing part is your microbiome. The middle ear, like so many other parts of your body, has its own microbiome. A healthy balance of bacteria in your ear helps maintain its environment, preventing the overgrowth of harmful bacteria and reducing your risk of infection. There are several ways a disruption in this balance can contribute to the development of ear infections. Let's go over them. First, your microbial diversity. A diverse and balanced microbiome in your ear helps support a healthy immune response in your ear. We never really pause to consider that there's life inside our ear. There's a whole ecosystem in our ears. When this diversity is disrupted, it compromises your immune system's ability to defend against invading pathogens, making your ear more susceptible to infections. This is where antibiotics come in. They do a great job at killing the bad bacteria, but they also disrupt the balance of good bacteria in your body, including your ear. They kill both the harmful and the beneficial bacteria, leading to an imbalance that oftentimes predisposes your ear to further infections. This is why children will get ear infection after ear infection after ear infection. And unfortunately, our healthcare system doesn't go to the root cause. Instead, they treat and they prescribe antibiotics and then a different kind of antibiotics. And after the fifth round of antibiotics, they say, oh, your child needs tubes in their ears. And we're missing the root of all of it. Lastly, there's environmental factors. So exposure to certain environments or conditions that disrupt the microbiome in other areas of your body, like in your respiratory tract or your gut, indirectly impacts the health of your ear. For example, an imbalance in your gut microbiome can be linked to an increased susceptibility of ear infections. I want to share an alternative that my family has always used. Having this alternative is how I have 4 children from the ages of 4 to 13 who have never once in their life needed antibiotics. At the first onset of an ear infection or even an earache, I drop a few drops of Cleanse Alkaline Silver into both ears, one ear at a time, but you always want to make sure that you do both sides because sometimes you may actually feel the pain in the opposite side of where the infection is. So you always want to do both sides. You want to, so I always have my children or whoever has the earache or ear infection, you lay on your side and you want your ear to feel like it's full of water. Let it sit in each side for 2 minutes while you massage behind the earlobe. Repeat this twice a day or more if you need until the pain is gone. This works really quickly. We also take a very small amount of Cleanse orally every single day. This helps maintain our microbiome balance throughout our entire body, which supports our immune system. I honestly cannot remember the last time any of us had an earache or an infection of any sort. And I attribute this to having cleanse. Having it on hand gives me such a great peace of mind. I always know exactly what to do, and it works every single time, whether it's for an ear infection or a sinus infection, a wound. If our dog gets diarrhea, cleanse is our go-to staple. And for ear infections in particular, it is such a huge peace of mind knowing that I have something that actually supports our bodies. And I know that I will never have to give my kids antibiotics for an ear infection because I have this on hand. I want to wrap this episode up by reminding you that you are the leader of your family. I am sharing this to educate on an alternative to antibiotics, but ultimately, this method is based on my personal experience. Thank you for joining me. I cannot wait for next week's episode. Thank you for joining me in today's episode of Follow Your Gut. If we don't know each other, I'm Juniper Bennett. I'm the founder and CEO of ōNLē Organics, a supplement and education brand focused on women and children's gut health. I will have all the resources mentioned in today's episode linked in the show notes for you. I would love to connect with you. You can find me on Instagram at ōNLē Organics. That's ōNLē Organics. And make sure to subscribe to the show so you never miss an episode. Lastly, it's important for you to know that the information shared on this podcast is based on my personal experiences and research. Please always trust your own inner voice of wisdom and your healthcare professional. Until next time.